Disclaimer, this is all my thoughts and opinions. This is for entertainment purposes only. I had spoken about Erica before, and my opinion has changed. And yeah, I'm judging. And I don't really want to get deep into a lot of the conspiracy theories that are going around. If you are unaware, Candace Owens is really I mean, she's it's it's almost too much to keep up with at this point. I'm sorry for clearing my throat, but I just feel like there's too many open ends to speculate about that personally. There's other people that are doing a great job putting a lot of different pieces together, but I wouldn't even necessarily recommend I don't know what to think about anything anymore. However, I just wanted to give my opinions on like the way that Erica Kirk is acting lately, because before my exact words were, I don't care. She can do whatever she wants as far as I'm concerned. Because, hey, Mr. Carey, how are you? I've never been in her shoes before. I try to put myself in other people's shoes, and it's hard to because I've never been a millionaire that's running a $1 million corporation, multi-million dollar. And so I really try to empathize with the fact that like this is a kind of unique situation and we shouldn't judge her. And like honestly, the open casket videos where she shows his body's hands, like that, I didn't think that that was appropriate. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. Like wanted to get on here half an hour earlier, and I'm such a dork. I was eating a Tootsie Roll and I like choked on my spit real bad, and I was like coughing for like 15 minutes. And I'm surprised my eyes don't look bloodshot. But anyways, I'm so sorry. Erica Kirk's first impressions versus now, if you weren't judging her initially, a lot of people seem to be changing their minds. And I never thought I would say this, but I actually agree with a lot of what Nick Fuentes has been saying. Tootsie Roll song, the 90s. And he's been really critical of her, but it's hard not to be at a certain point. It's like we've all experienced loss, or if you haven't, good for you, but most of us have. And it does seem kind of odd, like her behavior. And she I wanted to get into the tradwife thing mostly. We're not gonna talk about the no country in the chat. If you do, please put no country. We're not gonna say the name of the no country that starts with I because supposedly just having it in your chat can be bad. So I'd appreciate it if we could just call it the no country. But in my opinion, that's where I go. Like and Nick Fuentes doesn't agree with that. So I don't want people thinking, but like I said, there's way too many loose ends in this situation to really say who did it or what my opinion is on that. I'm talking about her bizarro behavior and how from all of the beginning I thought it was hypocritical of Charlie to talk about women the way that he did, and have this wife who was a college graduate. She's currently going to college right now, and while she's enrolled in college, or was she getting ready to get enrolled in college, you were telling that junior high girl, I know I'm talking to a man who's deceased, like a fucking Ouija board in front of me or something, but like the point is, like most people who preach online about traditional values aren't practicing what they preach. Like, show me somebody who is. Usually, anybody that is, they're not like putting their lives out there and preaching about it the way that I'm talking about these people that are doing this. And I never thought I'd agree with Nick Fuentes so much, but a lot of what he was saying recently, I really, I don't want to miss any. Oh gosh. Okay. She's currently getting a college degree, and her background has been looked into more and more. There is proof that allegedly her parents worked for cybersecurity companies, and this is why, at the age of 17, shortly after exiting, I'm sorry, the pageant circuit, she went to Romania and was involved in this charity, the nonprofit organization called Romania's Angels. And she was involved with some orphanage, and there's a video of this here on YouTube. Now, I'm not saying anything other than that, and I've never seen men from the army participate in something like giving gifts to children at an orphanage in plain clothes. And that was very odd to me. They're wearing their clothes. They're not dressed up in their army uniforms. Have any of you ever seen army men do something like that in plain clothes? that rubbed me the wrong way. And there was like it just didn't it was like kind of half-assed too. There was no Christmas tree, not one Christmas decoration in the room. And they're like, "Oh, we want to give the warmth of Christmas to these children." And each kid got one gift and it's I'm sorry, I tried to find it before. Of course I couldn't find it. It's here on YouTube and it's like the only video on this one channel and I think it's the channel of the organization. She was 17 years old supposedly when she and this is on her own website. She has her past, and it also lists at casting. I'm sorry, what is it called? Casting director. At what point was she a casting director, and who was she a casting director for? It's so odd. And I know I'm sorry, as a once young woman, not young anymore, or I don't consider myself what I'm talking about now, is a vulnerable, young, naive child down in Miami, Florida. How there is a lot of predatory things going on. I'm not speaking about anything in particular, but I could totally see the pageant thing containing some creeps. Absolutely anywhere where there's cameras wanting to take pictures of pretty young women, there are going to be creeps and there's going to be creepy things happening, basically. So I have no idea what happened to her in her younger life, but she was a part of a pageant where Trump, owned that organization at the time. Really interesting stuff. Some people speculate she might have been a honeypot of sorts or something. I am not saying that. Once again, like I didn't even want to say that much because it's just there's so much going on. Actually, it is hard not to say that part. Her behavior is so weird. I couldn't imagine if I lost my husband in such a way. We've been married for 15 years and like you go through your ups and downs in marriage, but I don't care what's going on to have your husband taken away so suddenly and to be acting like this. And some people could say it's shock. She hasn't really processed it yet. And it's still in some form of denial. But the longer it goes on and the more money she raised millions of dollars in a GoFundMe. She sold out her clothing line. She has this clothing line, I think it's called Proclaim. And I was looking at the website, absolutely every single item is sold out. People are really so and then the more she puts herself out there, it's just yucky. I'm sorry, in my opinion, it is. It's like she sees the money rolling in and she keeps I guess they were fundraising like the day of. At least that's what Nick Fuentes said. I don't know if that's true that they were sending out text messages like the day that Charlie was unalived. And I just okay, I want to see. Okay. Want to make sure I'm not Aw. I don't know exactly what you're talking about, Mr. Carey, but I'd be curious what it is. Okay, so her background with her nonprofit Romanian Angels in Romania, there's all sorts of conspiracy theories about that. I'm not saying anything about any of them, just that they're out there, stuff to do with traffic light rings. I'm sorry. I heard somebody say that. You get what I'm trying to say, right? Traffic light rings, like, I'm sorry, I really get annoyed with the innuendo, like, the slang that we have to use on here too, but I really wouldn't put it that far past. You've got, like, this one YouTuber said it was on a military base. I couldn't confirm that personally, but at least a military base nearby. You've got these I mean, alleged soldiers. I don't know for sure. They weren't in their uniforms. They were just in their plain clothes. Like they don't even like go to the airport not in their uniform. If they're doing absolutely anything it's like representing the army, don't they wear their uniform? Am I mistaken by that? Because I thought that's like if they're traveling for the army, they wear their uniform. If they're going and doing something, if they're going to an orphanage, they wear their uniform, right? So I know I might be dwelling on that a little bit too much, but uh, I think she's vain as hell, and women are programmed by society to find their self-worth in their looks. And I'm not saying that like we're victims and it's something that women can't overcome because I feel like I've overcome it, honestly. But when I see women like that, it's like it and okay, I'm not a doctor or anything, but the way she medicated? When John Benet Ramsey's mom was doing interviews and obviously medicated, like who could blame her for being medicated then? And don't even ask me my opinion on that case. But it's well, so that was obvious. Nobody could fault her for that. I don't feel like that with this necessarily, but I don't know for sure. And if somebody's already taking stuff like that regular, I don't know. I shouldn't say anything like that. But so there's another conspiracy theory where they're talking about a trap door that was underneath Charlie's seat at college, like stuff like that just makes us all look bad. And like this one guy, he had so much good information in his video, but then he was talking about that like they're really going to have, and it's possible. I know that there's probably tunnels under a lot of buildings like that. That is a legit thing for like a number of reasons, and some people might even venture to say some of them might be nefarious. But it's just crazy to me that like of all things, like I think there's interesting theories going around with ballistics, with all sorts of things, but a treatment lady that doesn't insurance doesn't pay. Oh, that's really nice, Mr. Carey. Oh, thank you, drama boy. Oh, hey, Jay Hardy, how are you? Hey, Yoder, how are you doing? Have you heard about Governor Hugh? Oh. Hey, Pyramid 7, how are you? So you see a lot of these trad wives online, especially lately, and it's interesting that he would be replaced by his wife, which is like trying to symbolize what he was trying to say. And I know Charlie didn't say all women, and he was trying to like cause a discourse. He wanted to start conversations. I think he was smart enough to know that like there wasn't ever going to be all women doing one or the other. But like I've been watching a lot of his videos over the last few weeks, and the way he spoke about women was extremely misogynistic across the board. I don't care how you cut it. The cat lady comments, the constant cat lady comments, like think about women, and he knows the faults of men because he's speaking to them about how they need to like be more mature sooner. Quit fucking around so much in your 20s. That like you should settle down. You should aim to be the kind of man that can take care of a wife and family and do that as soon as possible. Like those are messages you don't hear a lot. So I'm very conflicted with the way I feel about him. It's like it was just a learning lesson for me and a lot of other people that can critically think that like people are very complicated and multifaceted. And just because somebody says like extremely misogynistic things doesn't necessarily mean they're like a horrible person either. Like it's so ingrained in all of us, and that's why I talk about it. It's seriously so ingrained in all of it's just there, and it's really hard to unpack, and it takes like daily work for a long time if you're ever going to actually do it. Um Ed, why are you speaking in all caps? I don't know why people say women don't take responsibility for their actions, and then they turn around and talk about how like we're single mothers more and everything. Women have the babies. We bleed every single month, and then we have to, when we get pregnant, deal with the pregnancy, however we deal with that. And oh my goodness, give birth possibly and risk our lives. Like, I just saw like somebody say it in a comment earlier, like basically talking about how we should be equal now. If you really wanted equality or whatever, yada yada, talking about the physical stuff, like men should be able to get physical with women, like equal rights, equal fights. It's like it's so crazy the way that and I think that is part of what people thought Charlie was inciting. But if you weren't a hateful person to begin with, I really don't think he was going to make you more hateful. And I personally didn't think he was like the greatest debater. I didn't. He was good for the people who were like already on the same track as him. And he did teach people a lot, but he wasn't like, I don't think he was as good as some other people. Do I ever watch how women behave? Hey, Billy Clamson, how are you? Toxoplasmosis is a real thing. So there was there's just a lot of interesting conversations. There's a psychology video, and it was like talking about women after the age of 40 and how they react to life and, divorce rates. A lot of women do file for divorce after the age of 40. And I was commenting on it too, which I do agree. A lot of women, it's like their vanity. They feel like they're losing the most important part of themselves, which is really sad. And it's not completely 100% their fault. It's like all of society. It's just really interesting to me when men get so angry. Like, I understand being like, "Damn, like, you made, like, that much money in one night stripping? Gosh, I had to work 3 months for that." Like, I understand feeling a certain way, but, like, the absolute anger over, women being able to monetize off their beauty when you're the ones that participate in all of that, most likely. Most likely you've been doing it your whole life, and it's like this cycle that keeps going. Um, Women destroy really well, men commit 90% of violent crime, and I was just talking, the other night, like, adult audiences only. There was this guy who raped a man's DEAD body on a subway the other day, a week or so ago. Like, men do the most horrific things. If you want to sit here and compare men to women, it's undeniable. Anybody that's honest, men do the most horrific things across the board. There's groups with tens of thousands of men in it, like teaching each other how to rug their women, take pictures of them while they're rugged, take advantage of them while they're rugged, and share that evidence with each other. Women don't do that. And that's what I'm like, I shouldn't be allowed to vote, but like the people that do the most heinous, violent, horrific things should, because they're not as emotional. You guys aren't counting aggression and anger as emotions. And if you did, you would see men are absolutely more emotional than women. They are. They're quicker to, now some women are angry, don't get me wrong, but like you want to compare and generalize things incredibly. And like, I don't really like to do that because I think people are people, and most men are masculine dominant, most women are feminine, and it's like our energies, can be different, and you just have to find the people that mix right with your energies. And if you haven't found that, it's not the whole other opposite gender's fault. Okay. Women don't like each other. Oh, T. Palmer, you're not wrong about that. A lot of women don't like each other. No, I always say to my husband, like when I meet a new woman at work, if I do, I'm not working right now, but when I worked, like I feel like I have to prove myself to her, or she's one of those women I don't have to like prove myself to. And that's what I've said to a lot of men that complain about women's attitudes. I'm like, yeah, they're rude to like all of us. They're not just rude to men. Like rude women are just rude. They're entitled, and a lot of it does have to do with what I was talking about, placing all your value in your looks and like growing up. You're 11 years old and you can't leave the house, and it's like really sick. I mean, like that girl that was found in that singer's trunk, that David guy, the girl Celeste. They showed a picture of her when she was 11 years old, when she supposedly met him, supposedly on a chat room. He even has lyrics in a song talking about in 7 years. And oh my goodness, just anybody at 11 years old. I was thinking, because I don't know what picture I have of me at 11 years old. That's when it starts. Like usually, I've seen other women say that. I don't know what it is about the age of 11, but it is so sick. Not that it justifies it if you do have a woman's body. That sounds sick. But you know what I mean? It's like right when our hormones are coming in full force, and we're like getting these conflicting messages, and and told to be like independent and not to take any man's shit or whatever, but at the same time like given all these stupid messages from fairy tales that like we won't be complete until a man saves us. Shoot, my freaking earbud. I have enough battery to get through it. Billy Clancy, I used to believe that, but now I think they should be protected by male relatives. I'm glad you're doing good, Billy. Men should respect women and protect women. Yeah, and but who are men protecting women from when they're protecting women? It's protecting women from the other men. And I do agree with you, Billy. I do agree with you. It's that we need the good men to keep the bad men in check. But if the bad men weren't so bad, they wouldn't have to keep them in check so much, you know? And like, yes, women can be vile, but usually it's in like a psychological way. And that can be damaging too. I mean, you can damage a person for the rest of their lives with the shit that women do. But Kale, I've been with my girl for almost, I hope I'm saying that right, 12 years, and love her more and more every day. A real soulmate, as I said. That's really nice. That's awesome. We got women that are built like LeBron that can punch ordinary men with no risk. Nollies, well, most women aren't stronger than most men. Muscle density is a real thing too. And if you're like, I am a high testosterone woman, and I often wonder if that's why I seem to be strong. Like whenever I do work, people are always amazed at how strong I am, and I think I have like good muscle density. And my testosterone is always too high every time they test, and they don't help women like me with hormone imbalances. They can't help us balance our hormones. They could help me change my gender, but they can't help me balance my hormone. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I'm just saying it's really frustrating to have dealt with and to know that I'm at risk for like heart issues and all sorts of health issues because of having high testosterone and, yeah, oops, I don't wanna remove Jesus. Hi, Harrison, if you're still in here. Oh, I didn't realize that I was this far up. Women need to even the playing field and rug the men up like Cardi B. Remember when Cardi B when she did brag about that, that was pretty vile. Oh, I didn't realize I had both my earbuds in still. I'm so silly. Okay, I guess maybe I should just keep them both in. I don't wanna mess with it. Chance emotional? No, we have feelings. Most women don't. Oh, I know men have feelings. Definitely. Men have been socialized not to think that like showing their feelings are okay. And I'm glad that that's changing now. But women absolutely have feelings. We nurture the babies, we're good enough to raise the babies for the most part. I know there's great dads out there that do most of the child rearing. Voting is not about energies, Charles said. Did I? I didn't say that in direct relation to voting. No. Voting is a human right. People are paying into the same tax system. They should be able to have the same rights. And it's like it's way more than just trying to compare men and women. We're human beings. We're all humans. I don't understand that's why I talk about it a lot because it absolutely floored me that so many people could even think that women shouldn't be able to vote. And that's why I bring up misogyny. That wouldn't be a thing if y'all didn't sincerely low key dislike women in a certain level and dehumanize us in a certain way. Or you wouldn't dare think that we shouldn't have the same rights as you in that way. It's mind-blowing. Aren't conservative women the ones who got Trump elected this last election, technically, statistically? I don't believe in any of that crap, honestly. Um, oh, Jay, you stop it. Hey, Tim, how are you doing? Somebody said bring back chastity belts. That's hilarious. With the way that the birth rate and everything's going now, I don't think we have to, right? If women are so perfect, why are women all alone? Ed, if women are so lonely, why isn't there a female loneliness epidemic? There's not. It's called a male loneliness epidemic, okay? And I don't say that with pleasure as a mother of three sons and a wife of a man. What like why are you so angry? I don't like saying this, Ed, but who hurt you? Man, who hurt you? It wasn't me. Don't take it out on me. Women are happy, women are thriving, women are getting more higher education degrees than men and like good college degrees, not just like, gender studies, BS crap. Women are buying more houses than their single male counterparts. Women are doing better in a lot of ways. And we've basically just been given 50 years of the same exact playing field. So that's not great for men. And but with the way that thing like both sides, I'm not gonna blame it on one side or the other, but with the way like it seems like both sides don't like the when the woman makes more money, it's harder for her to find a mate. And it's like the men don't like being with a woman that makes more money than him either. And more women that just keep working the way up the economic ladder, the less, the more the marriage rate's gonna fall and the birth rate's gonna plummet. And I mean, maybe that's like the way that things are supposed to happen. I've said before, I'm fine with being the first generation that suffers the effects of like whatever you would call that, the bell or the balloon or whatever it is, where like there would be a lot more older people than there would be younger people, and we're gonna be the ones that suffer as the older people. But it's like maybe that's the way things have to happen to like get rid of it's just the end of the cycle. And no, I really don't think I have it all figured out, but it is fun talking to you guys. I definitely think that I have a more open mind than a lot of people, and I think that's key. You need to be able to think a lot of possibilities are possible. In Sweden, we have something called mother leave for 1 year, then father leave for 1 year paid. That's so awesome. I wish we had something like that here. And if they were serious at all about helping people out and getting the birth rate up, they would do something like that. Like, why can't we have parental leave, like guaranteed parental leave? It is a disaster. Our health care um, it's really awful. See, this is See the comments, I love dehumanizing women. You're not a human, you're a tool. I know, Nate, you don't have to say that. You don't have to like be a troll and make all men look even worse than you already do, committing 90% of the violent crime. Women don't troll the same way men do. I know some women do. Definitely, some women do, but I think there's a lot less women, and that plays into that. Like, we don't call it a female loneliness epidemic. It's the same amount of women I think it's more. Actually, it's more women opting out. If I'm pretty sure the numbers were like, or was that just a poll? Less women are having babies and getting married too. It's not just men opting out and then like what, women linking up with each other, more lesbians becoming a thing. I don't understand the way that these red pill people think. Just like that statistic, 4 out of 1,000 people, and they kept woohoo, 4 out of 1,000 men. It wasn't even that. And it's like, oh, we all need each other. Yes, Popo, Filippo. Yes, I agree with that. No, voting isn't that about that at all. It's about historical roles in society, and most women didn't even want to vote, Charles said. Well, I don't think most women, maybe at a it took like 80 years for them to actually, get the right to vote. And maybe at the beginning, most women, because most women were oppressed, most women didn't know. Anything other than, like, back then, did women even know about their menstrual cycle? Like, I don't think you guys have really put it into perspective. Like, maybe in the 1800s, like, women it was, like, illegal for a doctor to tell a woman about her menstrual cycle and what it took to get pregnant, how a woman got pregnant. And, like, the oppression is, like, so real and lasted for so long that, anybody who I'm doing pretty good, Tim. Oh my gosh, my dog is having such a bad nightmare. She's like barking. She is so annoying with the snoring and the nightmares. And I wonder what makes her have such bad nightmares. Um, I see the feminists. There's so much feminism, like third wave feminism. I don't agree with a lot of it, but like, yeah, this is why I bring up. See, I will keep having to talk about misogyny as long as there's so many people that have such a problem with women having rights. And if you have such a problem with women being able to make money, on the internet, that's also in part your fault. You support all of these things. Most women just don't want a family or kids. GDC, it seems to be the tides are turning that way. And the reasons that that is what is not being discussed. And that is what is important. Instead of just pointing the fingers at women, and I bring up social media a lot. Sure, women are becoming more narcissistic because of social media, perhaps, but I think a lot of it is the late stage capitalism. We have to both work, and more than ever, and it's like been clear, and not all houses, because my husband doesn't do this to me, but most women do more than their share of domestic labor. And when they're working, especially, and this is like, women have hormonal changes. There's so much to talk about. At the age of 40, like, yeah, it happens a lot. And I'm 38 years old. You do have a lot of changes. It makes sense that your body is like nearing where you're going to be more infertile, and you're like, I'm going to just put up with less crap. And if you're aware of that, then you can deal with it better. You shouldn't be taking it out on anybody. But I don't think that most men really give women credit for like all the changes our bodies go through. No, does that mean we should be able to treat you like crap? No, but like if you really were like, oh wow, they go through so much, and instead of shitting on them all the time. All due respect, if men decided tomorrow to withhold resources and labor from women or treat them like men, women would not be thriving. See, Jesus, I'm sorry, Jesus. I don't like being talked to like that. Like, why would you say that? What is that supposed to do to me? Make me treat men better because they could kill me if they wanted to? Think about what you said. Why would you say that to a woman? You want me to be scared? Like, I really don't like that. I would be more than fine. I can shoot a GUN. I can hunt. I can grow my food. I have a well. I know how to do a lot. Like I troubleshooted how to get our DVD player started in this old ass SUV we bought. It was pretty hard to do, and I was so proud of myself. And my husband was like, "Oh wow, I can't believe you figured that out." It's like men just think women are so incapable and like dumb, and like we need you. We all work on an oil rig, and we all need guys that can push around 500 pounds all the time. And if not, we're not going to survive. We're going to die. I have solar panels. I'm sorry. That's like I really don't that's the red pill stuff I really don't like. I think it's extremely disrespectful. I can't stand that. That's what that guy did that I was like, I liked his videos and I was very supportive of his videos. And then he's like, women need to know that men are getting fed up with this system. It's the bad men doing it to all of us. Why are you talking about withholding labor and resources from women when it's the oligarchs who are the bad elite men at the top? Can you answer me, Jesus? Are you in here? Why would you talk to a woman like that? You obviously respect me enough to spend hours of your life in my live chats. I really like this is nonsense. I know you're one of the people that said women shouldn't be able to vote, right? And I still respected you because you were always respectful back because I give what I get. But like to be like, we could withhold things from you. We could withhold things from you too. And there'd be no nurses, there'd be hardly any teachers. Could you imagine a world without hardly any healthcare workers or teachers? What the fuck would you do with your kids? What the fuck would any of us do with our kids for school? And then a lot of us couldn't work because all the teachers would be gone. What if all the women were taken? What if they were all raptured? You're one of those, right? What if they were raptured up in the sky? I really I don't appreciate somebody just told me if men withheld resources and labor from women, women would all be like, huh, huh. And he doesn't have the balls to say anything back to me when I'm saying how disrespectful that is. And what do you want from me, Jesus? What do you expect me to say when you say men could withhold resources and labor? We could withhold our vaginas from you and you would go fucking crazy. That's how crazy most men are. That is what's going on right now. And, like, I don't want you to come back in my live chat. I hope if you're not already gone, you're gone, gone. Unless you have, like, an apology to say, you don't go to a woman's chat. It's disrespectful. Somebody who, like, made prayers for people, and then you're gonna say, "We could withhold labor," and I could tell you were one of those. You sit around in the echo chamber that is the red pill and manosphere communities, and that is just, like, never gonna serve you or do you well. You could withhold labor and resources from me. We could withhold our energy, attention, and bodies, and the whole civilization would collapse. And that is what we are watching happening right now. And Legion of Men, why I like him so much, he said in a video the other day. He said it as it is. He's like, all men can thrive. If men just work hard enough, they can thrive. You don't have to be beautiful. You just work hard. You just do your job and work hard. And if you're good looking, that's a plus. You don't have to be beautiful. As a woman, you have to be beautiful, or you're not worth as much as you would be if you were beautiful. You could be the most hard ass, badass, hardworking bitch, best at your job, top of your game. But if you're not a beautiful woman on top of that, you're not going to be as woman as you can be. You can say all of that about a man, and whether he's ugly or handsome, he's still the shit. People are still going to praise him. I'm so, I didn't say me withhold resources from you. Hey, Zeus, it's like a veiled threat in a way, though. Do you understand where I'm coming from? Like, I really don't appreciate I know I've heard that so many times in the red pill echo chamber. Obviously, I'm like a low key lurker in certain communities. And like, that's one thing that like I can't stand behind. I've literally told my sons to never say to a woman, because what are you trying to say to her? Think about it. I'm not being sarcastic. Seriously, think about it. Sit with that thought if you haven't already. Men, I'm not talking about me. You're gonna take accountability off yourself. What red pill people always say women do is not take accountability. Now you're trying to take the accountability off of yourself. And Jay Hardy, love you. I know you didn't say love you, but thanks. Thanks for the money. I just wanted you to know I like read that right. It's just like to say men could withhold resources. Men already freak me the fuck out. I'm sitting here looking at a big gun safe, a big safe full of stuff to protect me with. I have a mastiff by my door, a 130-pound boy with his balls still on him by my door because I'm afraid to cut his balls off. I'm afraid he won't be as protective if we cut his balls off. It's like these are the walking through the world. I'm constantly aware that men are a threat. You don't have to remind me, okay, Jesus? I hope we can move on now. I hope I made it clear. Jeez Louise. I don't need it, Brown. I have a husband of 15 years. I really regret saying that word, but it's like I don't understand what men expect. I don't understand what men like Jesus expect a woman like me to say or react to that. Like what do you expect? And that's why this whole tradwife thing is a con. It's putting shit in your head that was never even true. There was never a thing as tradwives. Okay, guys, get over it. It was like in 1950s advertisements. Maybe a few upper middle class people lived the tradwife lifestyle for like a freaking decade, maybe two. And other than that, most of us have worked hard side by side as men and women. Yeah, women might stay at home with the babies for a few years and then we go back to work. That's what most of us do. And if we don't go back to a job or a career or something, like we usually have shit going on at home. We live on a farm or something. It's like, like I see it in her. Erica Kirk is who I'm talking about. Like, she would not be fulfilled as a stay-at-home mom. No, she wouldn't. Look at her. No, some women would never be fulfilled staying at home. And all you men looking at her and thinking that you're gonna get somebody like her and you're gonna wife her up and she's gonna be your trad wife and have your babies and shit. You need to be aware of vain women like that, that like speak the speak and walk the walk, but like they don't. No, she doesn't want to be. She's never gonna sit at home with her babies, especially after having thanks, Jay. I almost choked on my spit again. Gosh, what is it with tonight? Especially after having a taste of a career. And I say this as a woman that hasn't had a career, okay? But like I went from being a stay-at-home mom to working in a factory for 18 months to being a stay-at-home mom again. And like I can honestly say, like being a stay-at-home mom is harder. So like it's not for the weak. It's a lot easier to sit down in a chair and have your makeup get done like Ballerina Farms. Oh, trad wife. Like I know she gives birth naturally once a year, but I don't care. Like she sits there in a chair and has somebody do her hair and makeup, puts on a beautiful dress, obviously doesn't eat more than 500 calories a day. And like I get it, some people struggle with keeping on weight, just like some people struggle with losing it. But that woman is like so many poor examples in so many levels. And then she's like put out there on a pedestal like she's a trad wife. She lives on a farm and she goes and milks her cows and to her coffee. Like it's just such a joke. You're all setting yourself up for failure, looking up to people like them and like thinking that they emulate something that you're like that they don't even have. These people don't even live like that. And I'm so like I feel like I'm more traditional than a lot of the people. Jay, stop. that I'm talking about that like people, and I would never call myself traditional, but you know, like just the way I feel like when my husband's making most of the money, like monetary decisions go to him. Not that he doesn't like ask for my input at all, but like I just feel like if you're the breadwinner, you should decide all of the money things, right? And I don't mean that like, oh, don't tell me anything about our budget and you just do and don't, keep me privy to any of it. Like Charlie Kirk even said that's what should happen. Like your wife shouldn't know anything about the budget or the finances. I highly doubt that's really what was going on in their house. In my opinion, that wasn't even happening in their house when he was like recommending to that to people, look at her. Like try really hard not to judge. I said she can do whatever the fuck she wants because I really did feel for her. And I was like, oh, she just smiles like that a lot because she's a beauty pageant queen. It's like she can't help it. It's just like the former training that's in her. I was trying so hard to give her some grace. But like all this, it is so weird. It like I can't imagine losing my husband in such a way, losing anybody in such a way, and being so public. And there's I don't want to get into the conspiracy theories. Um, well, I mean, I think that was a pretty good rant. If I do say so myself, I think that was pretty productive and worth it. And I might clip that into a short video, which I hardly ever do, because I am so sick of hearing that rhetoric that men could take our safety away. Because what? But you wouldn't protect us from the bad men? That's like the bad men are keeping us all under, they're oppressing all of us. Like the patriarchy is a hierarchy that creates these it creates this hierarchy, and clearly it is men women, and you guys don't want to face that. It goes in one ear and out the other, because it's like if you would actually learn and deconstruct it, it would be beneficial for you because we're all on the same level. We're all on the same team. It's not about men and women underneath them. It's about the elite oligarchs and us all underneath them. And like, we're not going to be able to really turn the ship around until more people get that. And that is part of the divide and conquer. That, like, I think that misogyny has always been a thing, but they've ramped up the gender wars just like they did with the, race wars and the politics. And like in the 90s, people weren't so polarized and divisive over any of these topics. I mean, there's always been racists, and I don't ever want people to think that I think there weren't racists. Um, Yeah, see, this and as long as there's people like Greg talking about the 19th Amendment needing to be repealed, it's like you just do that because you're trying to get a rise out of women because you know they're not going to rescind that right. You know that's not going to happen in any of our lifetimes. And it was male politicians that gave us that right. It was male politicians that created the child support court that you all boohoo about because they saw so many females getting so screwed over. And I am proud to say Kentucky was the first state to do 50-50 default custody. Like, I don't think it's right how women were favored, but at the same time, I understand it. I mean, I understand it to a certain extent. I don't think it's fair to subject all men to the rules of the bad men because there's just like so many absent fathers. Sean Connery. Everyone asks her a question. Okay, what are your questions? I don't see any questions. I'm sorry. I haven't seen one question. And every time I look down, men risk their lives every day for even just a phone line. Get real. And I talk about that all the time. Blue collar jobs. I guess you haven't been in here much. I worked in factory and warehouses. I talk about people dying in the jobs where that is the highest is construction and logging, and that is mostly men. And we should absolutely respect that. Why don't you respect the fact that I've risked my life 3 times giving birth for the future? Like people like you never take into consideration more women risk their lives more often to birth babies than men do during their work. Prove me wrong. I don't know that to be a fact as a statistic. I just know I've known way more women that have given birth than I know men that have worked dangerous jobs. And I applaud you guys. My husband's one of them. I applaud all of you guys. Anna's husband's one of them. I really do. I think, oh my God, the freaking fly. I think it's awesome that there's men out there willing to literally break their backs for the rest of us. And I talk about the supply chain all the time and how, like, during, there was like everybody patting the backs of the healthcare workers, but the people in the factories and warehouses are keeping the supply chain going, keeping everything on your shelves just the same. Nobody ever pats them on the back. I feel like I do a better job talking about hardworking men than any red pill guy that I see, honestly. Maybe, okay, I brought up Legion of Men. I really like him. I watch like every one of his videos. I don't really watch every one of anybody else that I would consider red pill. He's very like even keeled. And the stuff he does say sometimes, okay, questions. Narrow perspective on mainstream media narratives. Ciao. It's been a while since somebody said ciao to me. Pyramid 7, I kind of like you all fired up. Thanks, Pyramid. Joseph, I'm in debt. I don't know what gender I am. I live in my mom's basement. Now listen to how we should fix society. Are you talking about me, Joseph? That's funny. I'm sure I'm closer to being debt free than you are. I'm a homeowner. I'm definitely not in my mom's basement. The last time I was in my mom's basement was like 11 years ago when we were buying our first house. Try again. Oh my gosh, not that there's anything wrong with living in your parents' basement. Like, life is so hard nowadays. Like, no, I don't mean like I don't want to make anybody feel bad for their own situation, but it's just funny how it's like in a basement or a old cat lady. People call me fat. I don't like. I know I've said my weight on here before, but it's just so funny to me. Like the common insults that men think like it's so common. You guys need to like come up with something new if you really want to try to get a rise out of me. Poor men who have such troublesome women who babble nonsense. I thought we were having a good chat, Kale. I thought we had some good back and forth. No, but feminists go too far. Seriously, that's what my girl says too. I don't understand that statement. I do think third wave feminists go way too far a lot. Yeah, and I've said that before. The difference between girls is you don't want to see war and misery while I want to follow the war in Ukraine myself and pepper me. I don't agree. What do you mean by that? I think women follow once again, we give birth. Do you know what it's like to have an 8-pound baby come out of your vagina and heal from that? Give me a break, okay? I had to have a hysterectomy this year. Women go through all sorts of horrible, miserable shit. Look at the hysterectomy subreddit and yeah, there's like it, y'all don't have an organ where they can like cut it and sew it up and yanks the rest of it out and deal with that sewn up. You have no idea what women go through because, and you don't care to because you look at us as less than, and even worse, you like look at us as like the reason why things are the way that they are. Um, Yoder, spell it right. Thank you, Mr. Carey. Women can be very violent in a psychological way. Francis, you're right. If you're still in here, I did say that earlier. And I said, and the psychological damage can last a lifetime. Like women aren't without fault. And I wasn't trying to make it about men versus women. It was somebody in here talking about women this, men that. Jay Hardy, thanks, Mama Bear. You're awesome, and I love you. Thank you, Jay. Love you too. But good, you should cry now because you are giving birth to a child, but don't have a child then. Well, you don't have to work a job that risks your life either as a man. Nobody puts a GUN to your head to say, work this risky construction job. You don't. Like, I could say the same thing to you, but some women have to, like, some women do. And women overreact and act delusional at times. Yeah, you're right. And men commit over 90% of the violent and aggressive crimes. Like, do you not think that's men overreacting? That's aggression. It's just like the problem is like aggression and anger is just looked at as like norm because so many men are literally either just there or aggressive. It's sad. It's a problem. It's something we all have to contend with as a society. And I want better for all men. And I'm not pointing the finger at every single man. I'm saying like the ones with issues, a lot of them, you guys know what I'm talking about. It's like they're either or. Moved the goalpost. What? Yeah, and all these people that think that they're, like, trying to make me feel stupid when I'm on a live on my YouTube live just talking about silly random tradwife shit. Thank you, Amran. The messages that are online that people like Erika Kirk are spreading about relationships, like I think that they gave some great marriage advice. So I don't mean it like everything that came out of her mouth was bad, but just her actions. Like this is not a traditional wife. This is not a woman who I think that a lot of men in that space that looked up to Charlie would hope would happen with them. And I was this person that said, it's a millionaire thing. I have no idea what they're going through, what it's like to run a business like that. Let her act the way that she's going to act. But this all proves what happens when we allow women to be vain and, like it's okay to put on a full face of makeup, like literal beauty queen makeup. Like when is this going to be like the norm to walk around like a Vegas showgirl with your ass cheeks hanging out with freaking feathers on the top of your head because like it's just like more and more and more, And yeah, it's a good example of how all of that vain stuff is getting out of hand. Michael Banks, marriage takes work. Yes, it does. Hot takes. I don't know how rage bait. I talked about Erica Kirk. Um, yeah, actually, I do have facial hair, Hunter. I've talked about it. I have PCOS. Nothing anybody could say would make me feel. I know you can't actually see my mustache, but like, and you're trying to like make fun of me or make me feel bad. Like, nothing anybody could say could make me feel bad. I'm on here talking to a camera. I have no problems with my looks. Finally, at the age of 38, and that took me a long time to get here. And that's why I feel so bad for women when they are in their prime. They're so beautiful and they're being torn down constantly. And it's so hard as a woman to exist in this world and have, thanks, Mr. Carey. Actually, most of my facial hair is like goatee. And I've even like, get me to 50,000 subscribers. I think 50,000 is like the number where I'll make a video showing my facial hair. I have no shame. I think I'm neurologically atypical. There's no problem with that. But like, I have no filter. I have no shame. I say all the worst parts of my life. I put it all out there because nobody could find anything out about me I haven't already given explicit details about. um, and that's why it's creepy when people like try to dox me because the only thing they could find out is me and my children's address. Like that's creepy. And instead help people who are at war. It's hard to sit here complaining about shitty things. Are you in Ukraine, Kale? I don't know why people get in other people's lives. I can't understand what you're trying to say. Men aren't the ones tearing down women, it's women tearing down women. Oh, Tennessee eyes, you're right. No, you're right. That is a problem. And when I talk about misogyny, I always say it's not just men versus women. Women hate women. And oh my gosh, if we could work together, this whole world would be so much different if we could actually have a more of a matriarchy. That's much more community mindset. We've been priced out of community with this late stage capitalism. It's a problem. It's a problem when women can't be the village builders and be the caretakers and nurturers because they're so burnt out working so much because of late stage capitalism. And um, yeah, matriarchy centers children, not men. And men's needs. Max, I'm getting ready to sign off of here. I know I was trying to do research and I have none of my books have any Lilith stuff in them. I swear I looked up and all the books I have, I'm like, this is so disappointing that I had like 5 books I thought would have something because I wanted to. And I can't wait to do the screen share with you guys. I'm hoping by the end of next month, maybe not, definitely November, I'll be able to do screen share and like the lost books of the Bible and stuff. There was Padre Pio was a subject. He was a Catholic priest who prophesized, is that the right word? A lot of different events and had the stigmata, is that what it's called? Anyway, it's a interesting subject. And I've been all over the place. It's extremely hard taking care of my kid. And like I am trying to dedicate, I was gonna do a members only live today. I didn't. I need to make a schedule and stick to it where I'm gonna have like members only lives on the same days and these lives and you should have no problems with your looks. You are beautiful, Jay Hardy said. Oh, thanks, Jay. Well, it's just like no matter what you look like as a woman, you get shit on for it. And once again, it's other women doing it too. Like my whole life, people talked about my nose. I'm surprised nobody's asked about the scar on my nose. It's not even the scar on my nose that people talked about. They just always told me that I should get a nose job. But it's fine. And it's like, I can't imagine now. This was 20 years ago. I can't imagine now with how prevalent cosmetic surgery is. Did you guys hear about the 14-year-old in Mexico who passed away because her stepdad gave her cosmetic surgery? Isn't this so sad? And her father, this was a story. Her father noticed the breast implants at her funeral. And he was like, what? What? Like he noticed the change. And like, and then it because at first they told him she passed away from COVID. And it's like, 14 years old. And once again, like this is what happens when I couldn't imagine a girl's body is still going through changes then. I couldn't imagine as a mother signing up for any kind of unnecessary surgery. Oh my gosh. Um you're fine, your husband doing okay, Michael said. Um oh, oh, I get what you're saying. I was like, what do you mean? I'm so slow. Thanks. Hi, Prasanta. How are you tonight? I'm done talking about the subject, but no, this king and the kids that say 67, but I don't have followers. Hmm. I don't know what you mean by that. So I did because I'm psychic. I'm seriously psychic. I just happened to look at Aaron's page right before I hopped on here, and he said that the court case is over. So I definitely know that those people that were harassing me, in my opinion, were probably working with Titus. They knew that this court case was coming up. It was like the last ditch effort. I'm so sorry to scare me. Like so. I don't know if it's going to be easy if I could just like call the courthouse. I'm sure if I could do it, anybody could just do it and see like what the results are, and honestly, like, besides, of course, he's not gonna, like, say any details as usual game playing, but, like, it sounds like they don't have more custody than they had before of their kids. Anybody who doesn't know what I'm talking about, I'm sorry. But, like, that's a good thing. That's a really good thing, and I think that there still needs to be the Titus Morris content until Peter Santinello stops platforming him. Got the same message earlier before I posted. Yoder said, "Did you see? I don't have Facebook. I don't activate my Facebook account to go look at her thing." But I figured, like, whatever. She has to appeal. Obviously, like things didn't go her way, and that's good. And finally, the state of Kentucky did something, in my opinion, that was good in regards to Titus Morris and his court cases. I walked into an ankle iron scarred AF. I'm sorry, Jay Hardy. And you know I empathize with that. You know me well enough to know like anybody gets hurt on the job, like oh gosh, Mr. Carey is disabled from a workplace injury accident. Like it I I've worked at places where people passed away, not in front of me or anything, but, like, these places are dangerous, like, people don't realize, like, forklifts weigh, like, 6,000 pounds, they're, like, dangerous machines, and yeah, people take for granted the conveniences we all have and what it takes. Oh, Jay, stop it. You meant a psychic message. Oh, I get it, Yoder. Because I don't look at Beyond Help every day. I know a lot of some of you probably are, believe me, but I really don't make it a habit to look at his channel every day. I was just like, I have a feeling. And then when I saw that, I was like, oh, this is good. I feel relief for some reason. Like I feel, it's finally freaking over, even though she said she was going to appeal it or whatever. So that's good. And I just hope that the kids, are happy and have, I'm sure they have more stability where they are now. I don't know, but like, it's such a tough age where those girls are at. So I just wish them the best and thank good. I got into it with somebody that's like, oh, Mr. Carey, I'm going to get off of here soon. I mean it. Somebody was saying like thoughts and prayers, and somebody else came in and was like, your thoughts and prayers aren't going to do anything. And I'm like, but like, why can't they just think good thoughts? Like, why does it bother you so much? Like, that's unhealthy for you to be like angry at somebody saying thoughts and prayers. Like this contrarian, and I can be contrarian with certain things, but like that attitude when it comes to the thoughts and prayers, it really gets to me. And I'm not religious. And then they called me a Bible thumper or something. I'm like, I'm not religious. I'd rather be around people that believe in prayer than people that don't. I don't know what that means, Lee. I try to avoid politics. Everyone's radicalized to a certain degree. I just try to live a good life. That's good, Marco. Yeah, I'm a centrist and I lean towards the right a lot of the times, but I don't know. I think it's kind of all two sides of the same coin here in our country in the US. I don't know where you are. But yeah, I'm sorry. Of course, like always, well, I don't feel okay. I really do respect Jesus, and if he's in here again, that's fine, but I don't expect him to ever be in here again. That whole rhetoric with the men could take your safety away. Like what am I supposed to do with that? I would just love for somebody that believes in that, believes in saying that to women to tell women like me, like, what do you expect me to do that? You expect me to sit down, shut up, and be quiet, right? Right? That's the only thing I can think of, right? Can anybody else before I get off of here let me know. Is there any other like, what else am I supposed to do with that? I really don't. I can't stress that enough. I really don't appreciate that. You can say whatever's on your mind. You can criticize me. You can go against like my opinion with your own opinion. I like dissenting opinions. I really don't appreciate like the straight up veiled threats. Like that's what that is. Um, the kind of men that I'm raising are the kind of men that would like check a man that would say that to a woman, like, what the fuck, dude? What do you want her to say to that? What do you expect a woman to say to men could take it all away from you? Um, I I've been in some fucked up situations. You don't think I know that, Jesus? I've had men take a lot away from me already. Why do you think I'm like this? Oh, thank you, Mr. Carey. I'm gonna go now, but I appreciate all of you guys. And thank you, Jay Hardy. Thank you, Mr. Carey. Thank you for being here, Anna, and everybody else. That one person said I wasn't answering questions, but I swear I didn't see many questions. Okay, thanks, Yoder. Send me the deets. And I am married. Did somebody ask me that? Oh, shoot. Yeah. Well, I love you guys. From Trinidad. That's so cool. Oh. I love you guys. I'll talk to you soon. And I promise I will do more like researched content. It's been like a rough transition. Love you guys with the staying at home.